I would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and they're the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant. Does anyone have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant? Does the court have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant?
If you want to take a break to get them, I can make a copy. I think we have one. Records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
Well, no, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
At least someone remembers who's on trial here.
On when the state was
Well,
able
it's
to
highly
follow
offensive
ups.
when someone lies on you, and it's highly offensive when they try to implicate that you slept with somebody the first day you met with them, and I take exception to it.
All right, well, Ms. Willis, she'll...
My next question is based on her opening the door, and therefore I'll just ask it, and Your Honor can decide whether or not it's appropriate. When you went to D.C., did you go to the White House?
I did not go to the White House.
No, well...
Apparently, I'm going to get the answer anyhow.
There you have it. Next question.
Okay.
Even the aggregate more than $100.
All right, Mr. McDougal, you can sit down now.
I don't believe she answered that question, Your Honor. She answered as to specific individual gifts.
And you're not listening to my answer either, so we're done.
Very well.
Okay. Mr. Rice.
No further questions.
Judge McAfee, who is overseeing the Georgia election case against Trump, allowed Trump and his co-defendant extraordinary leeway in the questioning of the district attorney Fani Willis and one of her special prosecutors, Nathan Wade, on the stand. The fact that they were even on the stand was surprising. An affidavit, a document done under penalty of perjury, had already been filed by them stating the nature and timing of their relationship and how they shared finances between them. It was more than enough information for the judge to rule on the conflict of interest issue. But Judge McAfee, who was appointed as recently as 2 years ago, went out of his way to appear impartial and not only schedule the hearing, but gave the defense attorneys wide leeway in their questioning. This does not bode well for what the trial will look like. That's the thing. Trump always argues that he is receiving special treatment and being prosecuted against. But the fact is that he is given so much more latitude than a typical defendant. There is no way a criminal defendant would have been able to get the district attorney prosecuting his case on the stand to question the sharing of payments regarding personal private trips. It just wouldn't happen. The judge would have ruled based on the facts given to him in the affidavit because he had more than enough facts to decide whether a conflict occurred. Remember, it's not so much whether they had a personal relationship. It is not unethical for prosecutors working on a case together to have a relationship. It's not even whether he was hired because of that relationship, because otherwise the defendants would be making the strange argument that she hired somebody less qualified to prosecute them because of their relationship. Strange because defendants, you would think, would benefit from hiring somebody less qualified to benefit them. So no, the question is whether she is profiting from hiring him and that this somehow incentivized her to prolong the case against them. So even if you believe that the defendant's theory that Fani Willis didn't reimburse Nathan Wade her share of their joint personal expenses on trips and dinners, it is a stretch to think she is prosecuting this case so her boyfriend can pay her share. So just so we are following all of Trump's new theories, the old theory was that Fani Willis was prosecuting him for fame and future political ambition. The new theory is that she's prosecuting him for free dinners. Let's take a step back because those of us who have been covering Trump for years are familiar with his special strain of sexism. In fact, one of his early criticism of Fani Willis had to do with her sex life. He claimed she was sleeping with some gang members.
They say there's a young woman, a young racist in Atlanta. She's a racist. And they say, I guess they say that she was after a certain gang and she ended up having an affair with the head of the gang or a gang member. And this is a person that wants to indict me. She's got a lot of problems, but she wants to indict me to try and run for some other office.
Okay. So all of that was bogus and completely untrue. But let's just pause on the part where he accuses Willis of having an affair with a gang member. Why would he think that or say that? And why would he put that baseless claim in a campaign ad released last week?
Biden's newest lackey, Atlanta DA, Fani Willis. So corrupt, Willis got caught hiding a relationship with a gang member she was prosecuting.
And bogus, baseless, and completely untrue.
But this is an outrageous lie. It actually could get DA Willis disbarred. It's unethical to have a relationship with a client, but it didn't happen. It's just another one of his racist dog whistles, just like he called DA Alvin Bragg an animal. Racist is his insult of choice for black prosecutors. He called DA Bragg and also Letitia James, the New York State Attorney General, racist as well, when we all know who the real racist is.
Yeah.
He did that not because it was even remotely true, but because it was a dog whistle. He reduced her, an extremely accomplished professional woman, to her sex life, to her alleged sex life. It doesn't matter if it's true. It's a common and easy way to reduce, minimize, and debase a woman. Sadly, Judge McAfee allowed him, his co-defendant, and their attorneys to do it again in front of the whole world to see.
On when the state was able to
It's highly
follow
offensive
up.
when someone lies on you, and it's highly offensive when they try to implicate that you slept with somebody the first day you met with them, and I take exception to it.
All right, well, Ms. Willis, she'll
What really just irritates me about the Fani Willis thing, it just gets under my skin because it's just such a ridiculous double standard that we have here for Fani Willis, for women, for strong women, women of color. It's just, I've seen it a million times. And what really irritates me is the irony here, right? You've got Donald Trump, who's been found by a jury to have sexually assaulted, to have raped E. Jean Carroll, okay? Sexually assaulted her. There were two other women who testified at that E. Jean Carroll trial, right? That he sexually assaulted them. He brags on an Access Hollywood tape to grabbing women's private parts without their consent. And somehow that is not disqualifying for the highest office, but Fani Willis is in a consensual adult relationship with somebody, and that there's a hearing happening about this. I think it's atrocious. And I just want to call it out because it really, the double standard here is just really appalling. Anyway.
To her credit, she was both clear and combative, showing them and us that she isn't going to be an easy adversary for the Trump world to set aside.
Your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
No, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.